Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and I am here to welcome you tonight to my stamp room. Sorry, I'm backwards in the video, so trying to fix my shirt was quite the chore. All right, so anyway, if you're out there, I see that there are people out there. Somebody already liked my post. I appreciate that. If you would like my YouTube video and share it, that would be great. It is July 10th. Wow, it's amazing how quickly the month of July is going. As you know, I wasn't on last Thursday because I had a huge family reunion at my house on July 4th that ended up lasting several days, and we had an absolute blast. 4th of July in Red Lodge is always fun because we have, let me know you're here too in the comments. Anyway, we have 4th of July in Red Lodge is really small town 4th of July. So we have a rodeo starting 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We have a parade the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. It's just a big, huge party for the whole week. And I had family come in from all over. All of my brothers and sisters, I think, except one. Several of my husband's sisters were here. And then I had an uncle and all of his family here from California, which was fun. We hadn't seen him for a long time. Hi, Karen. How are you? So we floated the river. We went to the pig races. We just did lots of fun stuff. And then after everybody left, my sisters and I took off Tuesday for, hi Paula, for Yellowstone. And we just spent one night in Yellowstone, but it was a lot of fun. We went to Old Faithful Lodge. The old lodge even has, like, you get a room in your bathroom and shower down the hall. It kind of felt like I'd gone back to college in the showers because they were similar to the ones that I had then. But it was a blast. Watched Old Faithful go off several times. We saw wolves, buffalo, a fox, lots of animals. My sister saw a bear. I did not see it, but that doesn't mean she didn't because she was looking through a scope. But it was really cool. The wolves we could just see with our eyes, which is amazing. They were across the river trying to trap one of the, hey Leanne, I'm glad you made it, trying to trap one of the buffalo, or bison, excuse me. But it was fun to watch how the bison lined up. Hey Carol from Connecticut. Ooh. It was fun to watch how the bison lined up to protect their herd from the wolves. I don't think the wolves were ever going to get through the line of protection that they had. But we stayed for quite a while. I could see why people stay for hours, pull up a chair and stay for hours. Hey, Linda. Because it is so cool to watch that whole nature thing. Anyway, Yellowstone was beautiful. And it really wasn't that many, there weren't that many people. Although they just reported today that in June they had record-breaking people there. So I didn't feel like we were crammed packed into the park. I felt like things were pretty mellow, which is good. Anyway, and now I'm home. I came home and tried to get caught up down at work and tried to get caught up at home and get my house put back together, and I will. It'll all get done. But anyway, that's my life. I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. I really didn't see the fireworks because I spent the evening in my bedroom with all of the dogs and trying to keep them calm because my dog in particular does not like the fireworks. But I think we're done now. I think they're over and we can all kind of get back to summer, which summer hit here with a vengeance. The last couple days it's been hot. But I just looked at the forecast and next week it's going to get cold again, which is bizarre. But oh well, the summer's here. All right. So tonight I'm going to share with you my tutorial for the month of July. I'm going to share with you the cards that I'm doing for my Create With Me card kit. I had to kind of pivot this today and kind of change things around. So if you have any questions and you're on YouTube, feel free to put them into the comment section. I can see all those comments. I can't see the comments on my website because I don't get notification. I get it through email, and I don't really want to check my email because then it lags the video. So if you're on my website and you want to have a question, you can put it in there. I'll answer it afterwards. But if you want me to answer it on the video, then hop on over to YouTube and join me there. Hey Cindy, how are you? Great. I think I'm going to flip my camera now and we're going to go ahead and get started. So for the July tutorial, I used this stamp set out of the big catalog called The Right Words. And I keep posting it wrong. I keep posting it as the perfect words or the perfect something. But it's actually The Right Words. This is a great stamp set. It's got some great sentiments in it. It's on page 89 of our regular catalog. And I just love the mixture of fonts and the sentiments that are in here. So that's what I'm using as my stamp set for this month. Now to do that with that, I'm actually using some of the collection from the beautiful gallery collection in the big catalog. So this paper I absolutely love. It's beautiful. We're using the embellishments, we're using the ribbon, and we're actually using some of the dies in the stamp set, like the frames and a couple of the just pieces there. I did not use this stamp set this time around just because this paper went so well with that sentiment stamp set. So let me show you a couple of things. So when you get your, here's all my scraps that I've been using up. So when you get your kit, if you order from me, so let's start from the beginning, sorry. If you place an order with me, I will send you a thank you email with a link to printable PDFs of the projects in this tutorial. So they look like this, similar to this. And then I will send you, if your order is over $50, I will send you a packet of supplies, which will include a quarter packet of the Designer Series paper in the beautiful gallery Designer Series paper. I'm going to tuck these all back in here. I'm trying to keep everything picked up because I got this stamp room put back. We use the stamp room as our feeding zone when all the people were here, and I got it kind of put back together today. But you will get the cardstock. You'll get 1/8 of a thing of ribbon so that you can tie your bows that I'll show you. You'll get a strip of the embellishments, which these are called the pressed flower motifs. They're really kind of cool. They have a little flower in them. And all the cardstock. And all the die cuts that I use that are not part of the die cut set that I've used in here. So that is the tutorial. In this tutorial, I actually use textured note dies, which I think I've used almost every month. I love them. And I also love the stylish shapes. Those are my two most used die cut sets. And like I said, I use the die cuts for this particular project. So this is a frame that was cut out. When you put this through the embossing folder with a piece of cardstock, it will cut out the frame, 2 frames, and then an inside piece. You're going to actually use this piece and the inside piece in on these particular projects. And then these are the dies. This is a big set, but you get lots of dies that coordinate with, oh, I should have that out here. Anyway, the stamp set, they coordinate with the stamp set, these images cut out. And then these are just standalone pieces, and I actually use the standalone pieces. That's a standalone piece too, in this particular project. All right, so there's that. I've actually cut my pieces with my Big Shot out already, just to save time. All right, so this is the stamp set I'm using. It is a cling stamp set, and which just means it's made of red rubber. And we'll get started. All right, and so the very first card that I did in this tutorial is this one here. I love this card, but you can see where it used the inside frame and a couple of pieces of Designer Series paper. And this is a little die cut from Stylish Shapes. Now, I know that I'm missing, I think I'm going to start losing my voice. It's only because I've been laughing and talking for the last few weeks, for the last week. All right, so I have these pieces, and I'm using a piece of beige, basic beige cardstock is my card base. So like I told you in the tutorial, all your measurements will be in there, and if you place an order over $50, you will get the packet of supplies to complete all the cards. There's 4 cards. So I'm going to go ahead and add this piece of Designer Series paper onto my card base. I love the basic beige background. And then I have this piece that I've cut down to fit into this frame. So I'm going to flip this frame over. This frame has a little bit of an edge around it, just to give it a little texture. I'm going to put a little adhesive on there, and then add my piece of designer series paper to make it a little picture. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ribbon and I'm going to tie it in a bow, and I'm going to come all the way around it. So I don't have a good way to measure this like I do when I'm doing a card base, only because you need more than 4 widths of that. So I'll just cut off some ribbon, and then I probably cut way too much, but that's all right. And then tie my bow. Perfect. Adjust my bow. And then the nice thing about this is that you can move it. So I kind of want it off to the side because my little circular die is going to be on this end. And then I'll trim off. I didn't do too bad. That's all I wasted. I'm going to trim off this one, I think, a little bit too. And then once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and take my dimensionals. Now these are dimensionals that I got in one of my paper pumpkin kits. They gave us these big sheets. I love them. They last me forever. But I always seem to have extras after I do my paper pumpkin. And just as a quick reminder, paper pumpkin tonight, if you are interested in the paper pumpkin for July, you have to have it signed up by 11:50 tonight. So just letting you know. I'm going to pull these off. I put dimensionals on the back of that, and then this is just going to get layered right onto that piece of designer paper. And I just love what the designer series paper does to this. It makes it beautiful. And then in the sentiments, I have a sentiment that's "You're so kind." I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that. And I will tell you, only because I guess I'm lazy or I want to use my stamps right away, I don't necessarily put the stickers on the back of them. Because usually when I get a stamp set, I just don't want to spend the time to put the sticker on the back. I keep the stickers with the stamp set so that if someday I decide to sit down and do them all, I have it here with me. I also keep this piece of the red rubber so that I know I can, and I actually pull the, well, you can pull the sticker off. I guess I didn't off this one. But I put that in there, and then I know exactly which stamps go where and make sure that I have all the stamps that I started with. So I'm going to put that to the side. And then on this little "You're so kind," I'm going to actually flip it over, and I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals. I'm going to put one at the bottom and one at the top. And what that's going to do, I'm going to move that before I put my finger in it, is it'll kind of put that piece of ribbon in between those two dimensionals and hold it into place. So just a real quick and easy card. I don't need to do anything to the inside as far as a layer of cardstock because you can stamp right on here, and you can stamp right on there and write in your sentiment. You don't need an extra piece of cardstock. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm looking at this and I have "You're so kind." I'm going to use this one because I like it. I know a good thing when I see it, and I see lots of good things in you. So I'm going to go ahead and find that sentiment. Thanks, Carol. So if I go ahead, as you can see, I haven't used this one yet. So I'm going to pull off that backing. And that's what makes it, the cling show up. Now I'm just making sure that I have it the right way up, and then I'm going to go ahead and use the Mossy Meadow, stamp the inside of my card. So I love this sentiment stamp. I just think that's really pretty. And actually the sentiments, the inside and the outside of the card, can be interchanged. And then once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and take some of these pressed flower motifs. They're kind of heavy, just so you're aware. They're made of metal, so they have just a little bit more oomph to them. And I'm going to go ahead and add a few to my project. And there is card number 1. And you can just see how the ribbon and the embellishments really make that card shine super easy. All right, let me move that out of the way. I'm going to close this because I don't know if I used Mossy Meadow. So the next card is this one here. And it just, again, uses a piece of Lost Lagoon as my card base. And then I've cut down a piece of Designer Series paper. This paper is just beautiful. And it's actually, when whoever designs this for Stampin' Up, they actually paint them and then make them into the 6x6 papers. So they use the Stampin' Up colors, which is cool. Hey Diane, it's hot there in North Carolina. It's hot here. I mean, we're up in the 80s today, which is unusual for Red Lodge. All right, so this is the piece that came out of this frame. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to stamp this Great Sentiment in Secret Sea. Secret Sea is my newest favorite color. I love it. I use it for everything. I mean, I use it as a basic black. I use it, I don't know, it's beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, ink up this stamp it down on my project. It's a little bit crooked. So I'm going to go ahead and try it again because I own both sides of the paper. Much better. So how I did that is I kind of looked at how I stamped it crooked like that, and then when I stamped the next one, I just adjusted a little bit. You could actually practice on paper and then stamp it. So forever loved, forever remembered. I love that. I'm going to set that aside. I need a scrap of here we go. I have a scrap of the basic beige. And to make this ring, this was kind of fun. I'm going to take the 2-inch circle punch and punch that out. And then I'm going to take the 2 3/8 punch and line that up again. And that's how I get the ring. So it's just another way to use your circle punches to make a little embellishment. Super easy. And then this is actually going to go up through that, like that. And that's how I made that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add a little adhesive to my ring on this side. Put that through. Kind of find exactly where I want it. And I actually could do it using the grid here if I wanted to move that down. And then press it down. And that's how I made that little embellishment. And I'm going to add this to the front of my card. If I wanted to, I could actually put this anywhere. I'm going to move it up because I kind of like, well, I'm going to move it here. I'm going to move it all over. Just to give a little different perspective. So it has a bunch on there. All right, and then what I did is I took some of this ribbon and I cut it in half. Oh, there goes my lighting. I hit the button. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. All right, so I'm just cutting this piece of ribbon in half because I loved how it coordinates with the basic beige. It's beautiful. But the ribbon was just a little too thick for me by just making it a bow. So I'm just going to cut it in half and then tie it in a bow. And it just gives a real delicate bow for my card. Oops. I'm going to do it over. I probably could have not been so stingy, and I could have cut this a little bit longer. So you want them to go through, and then once you've got that, then you can do the adjusting. And make your hoops how you want them. Make your bow how you want it. Trim off the edge. I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive there. I could use a mini glue dot too. And add the bow. Thanks, Mare. And then I'm going to add some of these embellishments. So like I said, if you place an order over 50, you get the cardstock, the designer series paper, the embellishments, and the ribbon to make the cards that I've made. So there's just a really nice, I'm going to look and see what the inside sentiment could be. Okay, so we have forever loved, forever remembered. Oh, here, hoping the loss you feel. We had a pretty tragic weekend here in Red Lodge. With a head-on collision down the highway. He was the son of my kid's babysitter when they were little. Was hit head-on. He was wearing a seatbelt, driving home from work. It's my understanding it was a drunk driver who didn't have a seatbelt on. She survived. He did not. Very tragic. Anyway, nice little sympathy card. Hoping you feel hoping the loss you feel right now will be eased by wonderful memories. So I do like this set because it has so many different sentiments. Like it says, it's the right words. It really is. All right, so the next one, again, we're using the designer series paper. I love this one. And this uses, the colors in the paper are Secret Sea and Cloud Cover. And so I've cut my pieces out here. I've got a piece of our basic white thick cardstock, which I do like to use for bases, just because it's a little firmer. And then a piece of Secret Sea. So we'll put that on my card. Like that. And then I'm going to add the designer series paper. And all I really wanted was just a little bit of a frame around that paper to make it stand out from the white. And it does that. I cut out 2 of the frames from the textured note dies. I'm going to use this one for my sentiment, which is thanks so much. Let me pull that. Ink it up in the Secret Sea. Let's see how I do. Oh, I did pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that one. All right, so we have thanks so much. We're going to use this piece. We're going to add a couple of these embellishments. So I've got these 2 dies that I've already cut out of that die set. Yeah, Carol, it's really sad. It's just heartbreaking. And I'm going to add this one on this end. And I'm going to add this one. So I'm actually putting these onto the what's going to be the bottom label. And then this label I'm going to add on with dimensionals. And we'll just line this up. It's just a fun way to use those textured note dies. And it just gives that embellishment a lot of texture and oomph, just with you know, a pass through the embossing machine. All right. So we have this one ready to go. Put that there. I'm going to add in some of my embellishments here. We'll put one here. One here, and one there. And then, let me see what I have for the inside of this card, because it's a white base. Oh, thanks so much for thinking of me. Oh, let's do You're So Kind. That'll be cool. So we'll take the You're So Kind, make sure it's the right side up, and stamp that in the middle. And there's card number 3. All right, card number 4. This one might be one of my favorites. I love Mossy Meadow lately. So this is using, again, the Designer Series paper. So I used a strip of one of the papers. I did emboss a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock with just to give this card some texture. And after I used this embossing folder, I now realize I believe it's retired, but that's all right, because everybody has retired stuff, and you guys just use what you have. Mossy Meadow. Any embossing folder would look great. And so because I'm using the same color cardstock, sometimes I just like that look with having a frame around it and then the embossing. And so I'm going to go ahead and add, I think I'll add this piece on first. So if I have to trim it up a little on the edges, I can. So I'll take this piece and lay it right on the edge, corner to corner. We'll see how well I think I did pretty good cutting. I don't have anything hanging over. And all right, so this piece is going to get added onto here, like so. And then I have these pieces that I cut. So on these, I'm going to go ahead and add these strips of Designer Series paper. And it's just 3 little strips that actually match up. So how I do this when I'm doing this with paper that actually matches, I line up the edges first, the outside pieces, and then bring the inside piece in. And you always have a little time to move stuff around. But it's a great looking technique with any of your Designer Series papers. All right, so then this piece I'm going to put on with dimensionals. And when I do my dimensionals, I always do the corners, and then I always do the middle so it doesn't warp on your card. Put all these off. I find these dimensionals all over the house, all over the dogs. I think I got them all. All right, so this piece is going to go on here. And I'm just kind of lining it up so there's kind of a same border around the edges, like that. And then I'm going to pull in, this is a die that I took from textured note dies. So it's all the same, and it has those dashes around it. I'm going to grab the stamp set that says Miss You Already. I'm going to use the Mossy Meadow and stamp this. Let's see how I do. It's okay. It's not perfect, but you know, you don't want it to be perfect. You want people to know you made it. All right, and so this one, I'm actually going to put tape on this end and a dimensional on this end. And the reason that I'm doing that is because this label is going to be partially off the cardstock. And because this is lifted, this end needs to be lifted too so that it joins together. I hope that makes sense. But before I do that, I'm going to take some ribbon. Where did I put it? Here it is. And I just did like a faux bow. So like that. I just crisscrossed it around. I'm going to lay it where I want it. I kind of want the sentiment to come across this part of the card. Did I take the, no, take that off. And then I'm just going to go ahead and lay this on there. And I just get a flat bow, so it doesn't add any bulk to your card, but gives it some a nice decoration. You can make the loops as big or as little as you want. And then what I did is I took some of these embellishments and I put one on each end, so it kind of looks like that's anchoring down that sentiment. So that is card number 4. So let me show you all the cards. So these are all the cards in my tutorial this month. You get the tutorial for free with any order, and you get the packet of supplies to make the projects with an order of $50. So you get enough to make one of each of those cards. And that usually comes, like if you order in July, it'll come the first or the second week of August. So like anybody that ordered in June I'm putting the packets together tomorrow to send out. Now, I want to talk a little bit about my Create With Me club that I do every month, because this month I had announced that we were going to be doing the Charming Day bundle, and the Charming Day bundle is right now on back order, and there's no targeted date for when it's going to be available. So I'm switching it up, and I'm using the Sunshine Sailing as my kit this month for Create With Me Club. Club is a subscription. You sign up for it, you're charged each month, and you get a kit to make. So this kit's going to have 7 cards, but you get to make 2 of each. So there's over $30 of product in this kit. But I love these cards, and you will see that they have a fun fold to them. So that will stand up. And I'm using the Boho Vibes paper, which I loved with this particular stamp set. But there's another one that will stand up on a desk. We've got a Happy Retirement card. But you can see how that Boho Vibe paper just really meshed well with this sailboat. We have some rainbows. Well, this is a fun fold where you open it like that, so you get just a little bit different look. So the kit comes with half of a pack of the Designer Series paper, a pack of embellishments, a pack of ribbon, and then all the cardstock for the cards to make 2 of each. And any labels, or so like this arched label will come with your kit. These will come with your kit, stamped or punched and ready to go. Anything that's not in the bundle of the products that I'm using will come in your kit. So like the circles here, I'll have them punched out and tucked in your bag. And each kit is separated into each kind of card. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of a cool way to do a lot with lots of different products and actually get your stamps and supplies and make them into something that you'll actually use. That's my goal. Send the cards. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, that went fast tonight. 7. That's good, because I'm like ready to take a nap. No. So if nobody has any questions, I think I'm gonna call it a night. Oh, good. There's somebody. Okay. So thank you for joining me. I hope that you learned something and learned a few new techniques with this. This month we have a 20% off all of the 2-tone cardstock, which is kind of a good deal. 2-tone cardstock is fun. I actually had planned to show these projects tonight, but maybe next week I can do something with the 2-tone cardstock. I am not going to be here next Thursday because I have a class in my house. However, I'm going to come live Wednesday night at 7. Same time, I'll send out an email just so that you will be informed. But I'm starting to teach 1 class a month in my house. Kind of fun, get together with people. And it just so happened to be next Thursday. So anyway, I will see you next Wednesday. Take care, and if you haven't already done so, you might want to sign up for my newsletter where I send out all of my information. It's at www.DDStamps.com. I can see my E fell off the wall over here. I'll have to fix that. Anyway, thank you for coming, and I hope that you have a great night. Bye-bye.